Okay, now you are going to do an experiment, really an investigation, to see what light has an effect, right? We had our boards and we decided that in our diagrams we need to include the student and the teacher, right? We need to include the one-way mirror. We need to include the two rooms. We weren't sure. Many of you thought we should include the light. Not everybody was sure. So now we're going to think about, is the light important? And the way we're going to do that is we're going to make a model. Okay. The model's already made. You're going to use a model. Okay. When we make a model for science, it's really important that we have all the important pieces and they correctly represent it. So for the rooms, you're going to have two boxes. They're going to be like this. They're throughout the classroom. You can go to one station for that, okay? For the one-way mirror, it's actually really important that we have a one-way mirror, okay? So we have between the two boxes is this, and this is a one-way mirror. It is the same material that is in the mirror in that video, okay? So the rooms will be the boxes. The one-way mirror will be a one-way mirror. The people will be action figures. They will be in the boxes, but you might need to set them up right now. Sure. You'll see when you open your boxes, there's one figure in this box. There's Darth Vader. In the other side, there's Luke Skywalker. They don't all have Darth and Luke. They just have some kind of figure to represent the student and the teacher. Okay, they are not all student and teacher things, but they're going to be in the boxes like this. You're going to put the boxes together. They'll be set up with the one-way mirror in between. So this is our model of the room in the video. I think it's in California. Okay, so that we can see. And then you're going to have light. Two flashlights. Hopefully they're both working. One flashlight is not working. Good to know. Okay, we'll check that they're both working. Those are going to go on top of the box like this when you're using them, here and here. Okay, so sometimes you'll have two lights, one light, no lights. The biggest difference probably is that clearly our little bobblehead here can't actually see what's happening and tell you what's happening. So you have to look for them. So these viewing holes is where you're going to look through. And in our model, that represents what each person sees. Okay, that represents the student and the teacher and what they see. Because our models inside our cardboard boxes don't actually have working eyes. We need to use our working eyes. But we're going to look through these holes. Okay? That's our model. The next thing you're going to need to do is your notebook. You need to set up your notebook. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, if you don't already have your notebook, go pause the video, go and get it. You're going to set it up. Okay? Now that you have your notebook, you're going to turn to page 7, right? 6 and 7. Oh, sorry, 5 and 6. Yeah, I said 6, 7. 5 and 6 were your attempt at your diagram. Mine's blank, but yours shouldn't be. Your first attempt. And now page 7 is going to look like this. Don't worry about page 8 just yet, okay? You're going to do this. This is the way I do this. I look at the whole page. These composition notebooks are about 25 lines. And I cut it in half. First, I use that red line. I like to use it whenever I can. See, I can't draw straight lines. I just trace over that. Then I cut it in half. So I draw a line about halfway, which is, if yours has about 25 lines, it's going to be about 12 or 13. Just count up or down right? And then I'm going to cut that 1.5. So that's going to be about 7 or 8. I draw a line in the halfway, and about 7 or 8 down, draw halfway. Now I have these easy boxes. Okay, that's how you're going to set it up. The title is The Light Important for the One-Way Mirror System. Here's where you're going to take your notes as you do the activity. And on the left-hand side, light on A, light off B. And here's where you're going to record your observations for light on and light off in A. Light on in A, off in B. Then you're going to have the light off in A and on in B. Light off A, light on B. Both lights on, both lights off. Pause the video, finish your notes. Finish setting up your notes. Okay, now that you're finished setting up your notes, you're going to be able to go to one of the stations, okay? You're going to come back and do this conclusion afterwards, okay? But I want you to write it now. So this, pages 7 and 8, okay? Page 8, you're going to write conclusion. I think that the light is or isn't. You can just leave a blank here, or you're going to circle it. Important to the one-way mirror system because after you have filled out, after you have done the investigation and you have filled out your notes, you're going to decide if the light is important and why. My diagram will or will not include the light because. So if you think it's important, you're going to put it in the diagram. If you don't think it's important, you're going to say, I don't need to include it in the diagram. Okay? This, you don't have to write. You can, if you want to, update and or change your first diagram as needed. After the activity in these notes in your conclusion page, you're going to come back and say, you're going to flip back. Right? This is your activity pages. You're going to flip back and update your diagram in any way you need to. Okay? Really focus on the light. Okay, so what does this mean? What does all of this mean? Now we need to look at our box system. Okay? I have this is labeled room A, this is labeled room B. Okay, here are my viewings. You can't really see. Better. And my viewing sides are here. Viewing side for B, viewing side for A. Okay? The first one is the light important. So now, when I have in my notebook, when I look at that first one, light on in A and off in B. So I'm going to have no light in B. And I'm going to have one in A. This is going to be helpful. Actually, okay. This is going to be helpful to do with a partner or a group. Okay? You're going to be sharing these boxes. So somebody's holding it. And then you take turns going over here and peeking through and seeing, as the viewpoint from the character, what they see. What are the choices? They could see themselves, right? Or they could see through. Maybe it's both, right? Maybe it's none. You're going to look in past that character to the one-way mirror. Can you see through it? Okay, can you see the character that's in the box? What do you see? Okay, that's where your observations go here. Okay? And then you're going to switch the light. You're going to cover up this one. If your flap doesn't work, just get a hand or paper to cover it. And you're going to open this one. Observe light off in A, on in B. Okay? Observe through the light hole. Okay? And you're going to do this on both sides. Like, what does B see and what does A see? Okay? When I had the light here, I'm going to look on that side and this side and record what I see here. The room A, or, sees this. Room B sees this. Okay? When I switch it, I'm going to do it again. Look here. Look here. What does room A see? What does room B see? Then I'm going to do it with both lights. And I'm going to look from both sides. What does room A see? What does room B see? Then I'm going to have both lights off. And this is important to really cover. Try to keep as much light out as you can. And look through each. What do you see as the viewing, as the character in the box. Okay? That is what your activity is. When you're done, then you're going to come to this conclusion, talking with your group or your partner or somebody. What do you think? What did this activity show you about light? Is it important for the one-way mirror? When you change the light, does it change what they see? Okay? That's what you're doing. And that's today's activity. Good luck and have fun.